I do want to thank you for your participation today, and with that, I wish to call this Public Utilities, Transportation, and Communications Committee meeting. Today is July 9, 2025 at 1:45 p.m. here in the Senate Chamber in Capitol Hill, Saipan. But this time I wish to ask or can I, is it without any objection from the members, can I just go on record to highlight who's present today? Any council, is there any concern with that manner? Okay, so thank you. So joining me today for this committee meeting is, to my left is Senator Ron Calvo, who is the vice chair of the committee from the 1st Senatorial District. To his left is Senator Manny Gregory Tenor Castro from 3rd Senatorial District. To my right is the floor leader of the Senate, Senator Donald Manlonia from 1st Senatorial District. And to his right is Senator Francisco Gil Cruz, the member from the 2nd Senatorial District. And joining us remotely and virtually is member Senator Corina Magofnia from the 3rd Senatorial District. So we do have the quorum that constitutes a quorum to proceed with this meeting. And with that, moving on item 3, and before I call for an adoption of this agenda, I would like to offer a motion for any member to amend today's order of business to include some communications and one particular legislations that the chair would wishes to put together. To put forth in this order of business. Any member offer a motion to amend the agenda? It's been motion to amend the agenda offered by Senator Madonna Manglonia, seconded by Senator Calvo. Discussion. All those in favor to amend today's meeting agenda, please say aye. All those opposed say nay. Motion. Oh, I apologize. I think we need to make the call for the amendment of the agenda. Clerk, can you please call the roll to approve of the amendment of today's order of business?
Senator Ronnie M. Calvo.
Present.
Yes.
Yes.
Senator Manny Gregory T. Castro.
Ngan.
Mr. Front.
Senator Francisco Q. Cruz. Senator Corina L. Magofnia. Senator Donald M. Manglonia.
Yes.
Senator Jude U. Hofschneider.
Gaige.
Mr. Chairman, 5 members voted yes and 1 member is absent.
With 5 members voting yes, the amendment to the order of business hereby approved. And thank you, members, for that approval. And today's order of business is that I wish to include Senate Bill number 2434 under new business, and that is to restructure the electricity market in the CNMI by deregulating electric services and for other purposes. And I also wish to make a note that for Senate Bill number 24-02, under comments that we receive comments from Mayor Aubrey Manglonia from Rhoda, the chairman for the Saipan and Northern Islands Soil and Water Conservation District, Mr. Glenn Manglonia, and one comment from the Office of Mayor of Saipan, Mayor R.B. Kamotsu, and one communication from the acting CPUC Chairman, Dr. Jack Angelo, on behalf of the Public Utilities Commission, in reference to all of those communications, in reference to Senate Bill 24-02, and that is to improve the food security of the CNMI by amending 4 CMC subsection 8182 and 8183 to establish agricultural water usage rates for commercial farmers, commercial ranchers, and livestock producers, and for other purposes. Thank you, and clerk, please make note of that. And members, I thank you again for your attention. So, moving on along, we're gonna
Discuss.
Okay, so moving on to item number 3 of the meeting, I would like to just entertain a motion for the adoption of the agenda. Senator Donald Manglonia, please. Recognize.
Mr. Chair, I move to adopt today's agenda as amended.
Motion to adopt today's agenda as amended by Senator Donald Manglonia. Do we hear a second?
Second.
It's been seconded by Senator Magofnia. All those in favor of the motion to adopt the agenda as amended, please say aye.
Aye.
All those opposed say nay. Motion carries. Today's meeting agenda is hereby adopted as amended. And again, for just a clarification, that we include Senate Bill 24-34 in today's agenda to restructure the electricity market in the CNMI by deregulating electric services and for other purposes. And some of the comments from reference to Senate Bill number 24-02. Thank you, members. Under item 4, public comment. This is the portion of our meeting where we allow members of the public to offer comments on any of the items before the committee's order of business for today's meeting. Any member of the public? Media? Thank you, Arno, for joining us. Let the record reflect that there's no public comment offered for today's meeting. Under new business, Senate Bill number 24-02. Again, we discussed this matter, and I want to open the conversation to the members whether or not to continue discussing this in committee or take it through a public hearing or take it to the next level for a possible markup for next session. Senator Donald Manglonia.
Mr. Chair, I think we should mark it up for action today. I think, this has something similar has been in the statute, for quite some time, but CUC never promulgated the rules and regs to implement this, and so I think that all you're really doing is just adding an extra activity to include livestock producers, and so I think it's about time that we get CUC to move forward with implementing these new rates.
Thank you, floor leader. Any other member? Senator Cabo.
Thank you, Chairman. I just want to just state that we do have the, written comments in place, that majority of them upon review have, supported the 2402 in regards to, the water rate usage for agriculture and farming. If I may share some key points, that's okay. We do have under, Department of Natural Resources, Mr. Glenn Manglonia, supported that, with some statistics stating that 3%, as of 2023, 3% of our agricultural production is what the CNMI has rendered, and 97 of all agricultural products, including meat and poultry, are imported. That importance of rates coming down, is a great investment according to his statement for our agricultural industry. We also have another one commenting by our Mayor of Rota, regarding the support of this recommendation. Special water rates established, another endorsement by our mayor, RB Camacho, and seeking, water rate usage, the support of that, strongly support of that. So I'm just revisiting some of these statements that, highly support this bill. Another one that was introduced by our CPUC member, Dr. Jack Angelo. He had concerns in regards to the rates being, Northern Mariana's descent, that we look at assisting our local farmers, and also on the other hand, to separate another rate for agricultural farmers that are, foreigners. So that's another point he mentioned in regards to this discussion. Another one was from our Luta Soil and Water Conservation District. We have the representative chairperson Dana Calvo that, mentioned that they've had public hearings, on the concern of our utility rates and how it's still in effect, where our rates are extremely high. So in order for them, our farmers, ranchers, and livestock producers to produce more with a fixed rate, for improving the growth of our economy and food security for our people of the CNMI. So I just wanted to share some of these reviewed items in support of this bill. Thank you, Chairman.
Jesus Masi, Senator Calvo, any other member before we call for the vote? Senator Manglonia.
Thank you, Chair. I just wanted to throw this out to the members. I think, would it be something the members would consider in terms of establishing a max amount or a ceiling to where once they've reached a certain amount of gallons, then it reverts to the normal commercial rate, to kind of address the concerns that there might be abuse with the amount of water being used, or depleting resources if it's here on Saipan in terms of water not being, I don't know, enough for its residents, if that makes sense. 'Cause,
Yeah.
I know in Rota we also have pipes that push out untreated water, stuff like that. But I'm not sure what would be an average or a good average to set a limit as to what how much of the gallons used will be charged at the 25-cent rate, and then reverting to the normal commercial rate after they reach that amount.
So that's valid, Vice President or Floor Leader. But if you look at page two under rules and regs, the current law is a language that was stricken out, but there's still that opportunity for the Department of Utilities Corporation to promulgate the necessary rules to address some of the concerns that you raised, Senator Manglonia. And but for the most part, I think there was a open-ended mandate in the current law, and that's the reason why CUC never really particularly in support or aggressively pursuing to establish this proposal, or in this case the law that is already set since the 14th legislature. So I think to answer your question, there's that particular provision in there that it takes them 90 days to promulgate that and to do a threshold, so to speak, that if they've already exceeded X amount based on their consumption, then it triggers a different rate. Unless you want to put additional language in the state to address that.
I mean, it's something for the committee to consider. If we leave it up to CUC, they may put a threshold that really um, doesn't provide the same benefit as what the members, what we intend to do with this legislation. Um, they could set a low threshold, and then you know that it wouldn't really be much of savings towards these farmers. But it's I'm not sure uh, what would be an appropriate threshold dependent upon the size of the agricultural activity, and so I don't know. It was just something I wanted to throw out there. But if we are gonna leave it up to CC, I think then the farmers can come back and provide their comments during the comment period of when these rules and regs will be implemented, once those are filed with the AG. So
That's correct. Thank you. And Senator Cruz, before I recognize you, I think Senator Magovnia wanted to offer some comments. Go ahead, recognize Senator Karina.
Suzus Masi Chair. So first, I understand that, the public notice went out. And so I just wanted to check if CUC was invited to provide some comments or feedback on this bill.
That's correct. They are very much aware of such legislation beforehand, and even with the CPUC, in this case, Dr. Angelo, the committee didn't necessarily send them comment, but a request for comment, but they commented on the matter, and they raised some concerns.
Okay. I guess the only thing that, first of all, I'm in full support of this bill. I just wanted to ask, with the cost of service study being completed by CUC, I wanted to ask if there was any fiscal impact that this would have on CUC, and if there is, what are we looking at?
At this current right now, we don't have that particularly ready to share.
Okay. Okay. That's all I have, Chair. Thank you.
Mrs. Masi, Senator Magovnia, Senator Cruz.
Thank you, Chairman. I was just listening to Floor Leader in regards to a recommendation. I think there should be a study on this because it's very difficult to determine the amount of usage. Then go back to whatever the rate is, right? Because it depends on the volume of the person, either commercial or non-commercial, no? And even with ranchers, especially during summer, dry season, we cannot determine unless an expert can tell us that this is the amount of consumption should be used, and then go back to whatever the recommendation of floor leader. So I guess, and I see the recommendation on concern stated by Mayor Aubrey, and if they violate any of those, like for example, they're giving you the leeway or the assistance to to lower the rate, and they see that you abusing it, then of course it's going to be either cited or revoke your privilege to be able to get that that assistance from CUC by lowering the rate. So I think that for me that's the only way for CUC to monitor that. As far as to determine the amount is very difficult because, like I said, during dry season it's going to be more consumption. Are you back now, Mr. Chairman?
Yes, this is Masi, and again, those concerns are valid from the members, but I'm open to forego passage, pending more. Devin, make note that we need to do a clarifying information or position from CUC and CPUC on the matter in terms of the concerns raised. And also take into account Senator Donna Manglonia's recommendation to, I think, I would like to ask the committee to just allow the legislative assistant with the guidance of the council to put the necessary language to address those concerns. And then, Devin, let's commission another letter to CUC, Water Division, see if they can assist with this legislation further and come up with a guidance as far as, because I know right from the get-go CUC is not going to support this. Otherwise, they will be working with the legislature since it become law. So basically, our goal, no, or at least as the sponsor for this legislation, the option is to really try and support the efforts for food security, no, in the CNMI, and I think I repeated this in the past. The gross revenue tax structure for farm and agriculture product is very generous, but there's other components that it's disallowing our potential operators from engaging, and that one being the water rates, because sometimes on a designated farm plots, they do have an independent water rates side and separate from the city water. But what about the private landowners that have their farm or their ranch on their private property and they're being charged residential rate and they're using exorbitant amount of gallons of water? So basically, this is an exercise that for the legislature to try and assist on that angle. At the same time, taking into consideration the potential abuses or the loopholes that the bad actors, for that matter, can capitalize on, and also with the fiscal impact that was mentioned earlier, with CUC not being able to collect. So I'm open to leave it and have that. Yes, Senator Cruz, recognize.
Just for clarification, is this water usage for treated water or non-treated water?
Okay, if you look at the content, there's on page 2, for water rates for commercial farmers ranchers, the rate of 25 cents per 1,000 U.S. gallons of water in areas where there is 24-hour water available, or a flat rate of $25 per month in areas where 24-hour water is not available. So it could potentially mean treated, but it's not 24 hours. Again, this is just addressing the water rates established, because there's other, like we all know, and I think in Kangman there's a different water rates because they have an independent, if I'm not mistaken, well or something that's providing for. I think, and I stand corrected. I may be wrong, but there are different treatments of water rates. So we just want to establishing, across the board, for the utilities to consider and instead of doing.
And in addition to that, Mr. Chairman, I know that the one we include in amending the agenda, I think the Vice Chair of the PU Public Utility Commission, Mr. Angelo, I think is supporting this, but he mentioned something like for foreigners that are doing either agriculture or what we call ranch will be treated different. I want to ask the council whether that's is that constitutional or unconstitutional for segregating the rate between U.S. citizen and foreign national.
Yeah, I wouldn't recommend that. We should have one rate for all ranchers and farmers, whether they're U.S. citizens or not. So long as the non-U.S. citizen is legitimately here, maybe that could be a requirement for CUC to look into.
Thank you, Council, for your guidance.
Valid question, Senator Cruz, and thank you, Consul. So again, let's do more due diligence to address some of the concerns, and we'll hold this further for further consideration. Senator Corina, recognize.
Thank you, Chair. I just wanted to ask, have there been efforts to try and have a sit down with CUC to informally to just start the conversation and see what their concerns or pushback on this bill? Maybe we could find a common ground and see how we can help each other, to support the bill, but also take into consideration the needs of CUC.
Noted. Thank you. Thank you for that. Appreciate
Okay.
it.
Thank,
So
thank you.
thank you, members, and I want to move ahead. I do want to respectfully ask the members. I know that this is something that we recently, received, but I think they're very critical with our efforts with regards to addressing our energy, the high cost of energy, or utilities here in the CNMI. So I respectfully ask two legislations that I want to request the members to mark up for next session. Number one is House Bill 24-29, and that is to reconcile public utility accounts between CHCC and CUC by waiving intra-governmental penalties, preserving enforceable debt obligation for other purposes. And the other one is the most recent one, is the author, Senate Bill 2434, the deregulation of electricity. If the members are okay that we forego comment period for 2434 and 2449, House Bill 2449 in the Senate side, and push this forward, as we are very concerned with every one of us here are very concerned with the high cost of electricity, that we resort to be paying, especially our general public. So I'm gonna open this conversation and discuss, and I wanna first give the opportunity for the author of 2434 and allow her to maybe articulate some of the fine prints or the intent of. I mean, it's a voluminous piece of legislation, but I know that you put a lot of effort into it. So, and again, we've been meeting with several potential investors here in the CNMI, and one of the things that we always ask is the energy requirement. No, so is it okay, Senator Corona, if you can just Senator Magovnia, to allow yourself to maybe just give us a summary of your legislation?
Absolutely. Again, thank you so much, Chair, for amending today's agenda to include this bill for discussion. It is quite voluminous, but the intent is to really open up the market to allow for healthy competition between utility companies, so that the rates. The ultimate goal is to try and provide a reasonable rate to the consumer, so that it's not costing residential, commercial, or even the government an arm and a leg. We've heard it throughout our CNMI, from residents to commercial businesses, that the utility rate is just very it's overwhelming for a lot of people. There's so many people that cannot even afford that, and a lot of businesses honestly are on the verge of closing down because they just simply cannot sustain with the utility expense being a big portion of that. So again, this is just to test the market, see what our residents want to do with this legislation. And I would have to say that in talking to a lot of businesses, I've garnered a lot of support, obviously. But I'm open to any suggestions to improve the legislation as it is, and I welcome any questions from any of the members, or just anyone from the community for that matter. And I was curious to find, I wanted to ask if we received any comments from CUC or PUTC for that matter.
Negative, Senator Magofnia, and again, the committee just included this in the order of business today. But I wanna, as you can notice, as chair of this committee, I wanna promote and engage something that is beneficial in terms of the way I see the legislation is that it's gonna help the ratepayers, and you need to push this
Yes.
forward faster. And I know
Yeah.
we wanna do our due diligence, and if this is the sentiment of the author, yourself, and the members to mark it up for next session or put it up for prioritize the comments from CUC or a meeting with CUC to discuss this further to improve it. I'm open for any guidance from the members.
Uh,
Go ahead. You still have the floor.
Okay. Okay. If I may, Chair, I am open to whatever the members would like to do. Again, the intent is to provide options and alternatives for our ratepayers, and there's nothing wrong with having competition. As a matter of fact, competition encourages improved and quality services from their competitors, right? So, if anything, this would only help CUC to maybe to take some time to evaluate some of the areas that they need to improve upon. And also, this would alleviate some of the burden, a lot of the burden, financial burden on themselves, since they're the only utility company on all three islands, to better position themselves and just assess some of the needs that they need to focus on. So I'm happy to take, with whatever direction the committee members would like to take. I'm okay with that. If they want to mark it up and put it up for a vote for the next session, I'm fine with that. If they want to take the time to discuss it with CUC further or have public hearings on it, I'm fine either way. So thank you.
Thank you so much, Chair Magofnia. Any member, Senator Manglonia?
Thank you, Chair. I really can't make that decision now. I just heard the term voluminous, and I haven't seen, since it's something that was just added to the agenda, I haven't seen the bill in its entirety, and I know that looking at the LA that who you left to make copy, it looks really thick, and so if the members don't mind going into recess for a couple of minutes so I can review, then that's something that we can act on later on today, or we can seek further comments. But yeah, unless the members have already reviewed it.
Okay, so to that point, let me ask for a short recess now. As discussed, we are going to invite CUC and possibly CPUC to a meeting with the committee to discuss two pieces of legislations. Senate Bill 24-14. I'm sorry. I need the 24-34. No, 24-34 and 24-2. And chair requests the council, I'm sorry, the LA to work with the office to schedule that date sometime next week, late next week, or early the following week in July. Okay. And moving on. And before I go to the next order of business, I would like to take a short recess and invite a visitor that requested for a brief meeting with the members of the PUTC. I think the gentleman is here today, right now, and out in the gallery. So, short recess to have a brief conversation with the visitors. Thank you. for allowing the visitor to meet with us, and also rising back to our committee meeting. As I requested earlier, if the committee have no objection, and jump right to item number 3 on the agenda. House Bill 2429, that is to reconcile public utility accounts between CHCC and CUC by waiving intergovernmental penalties and preserving enforceable debt obligations and for other purposes. And then the standing discussion is from previous meeting is the concern on the provision primarily on page 3, line 11 to line 17. And at the time, if you may recall, that the committee prefers that if we are going to approve such legislation, that we make the mandate more clearer by way of making the law or the request effective and more clear, as to what the intent of this legislation. And by the current version of the bill from the House, it references, and if you just look at line 11 to 17, take a minute to look at that, and if there's no objection, we're ready to move forward to omit that and make it and provide an accompanying provision to address the intent of the law to address the waiver of penalties and surcharges and late fees owed by CHCC. And then we'll committee member to comment on it if you have any questions. Okay, I recognize Senator Magofnia.
Thank you, Chair. So in looking at on page 3, lines 11 through 17, I would like to recommend that on line 12, actually line 13, that maybe we should also include interest. I don't see interest on there, but so there's late fees, penalties, and surcharges. But I would like to include. I would like to recommend to include interest because CUC does charge interest on balances that are outstanding. Also, I think 90 days is too long. I recommend reducing that to at least 30 days max, 15 days minimum, 30 days max, because honestly, these balances should have been long reconciled, ever since. And we don't want to continue to give them additional time. 90 days is really long. To reconcile accounts, it shouldn't even take that long, to be quite honest. So I think 90 days is over, it's too much, but I think 15 to 30 days is ample time to reconcile. Like I said, these outstanding balances should have been reconciled years ago. There's no reason why we need to give them an additional 90 days from when this bill passes and enacted into law for them to reconcile, because they should have been reconciling this on a monthly basis. So that would be my recommendation. Thank you.
Thank you, Madam Chair. That's a great observation. And if there's no objection from the members, I would take that as, can you just properly offer a motion to include, especially the line 13?
Okay, sure, not a problem. So on page 3, line 13, I offer a motion to include the word interest after late. So we have the amount to be discharged consisting of penalties, surcharges, or after surcharges, interest, and late fees. So moved.
Okay, there's been a motion offered by Senator Magofnia to insert the word interests, and as read, the amount to be discharged consisting of penalties, surcharges, interest, and late fees. Okay, under discussion?
Before I second, Senator Magovnia, can you include the language on line 4 as well, just so it's consistent?
Yes, my apologies. So
Okay.
yes, in addition to inserting the word interest on line 13, I would also like to offer a motion to strike out on line 15 the 90 days and reduce it down to 30 days. So moved.
And to include in line 4.
Okay, so we want to make sure that we dispose of the first one, Dispensa. So let's. I think the offer that that's being offered by the amendments being offered by Senator Magofnia is on line 13, and it's been seconded, and also to include line 4 on the same page,
Yes,
and it's been seconded
yes.
for consistency. All those in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
All those opposed say nay. Motion carries. And that amendment and insertion is hereby approved. And Senator Magofnia, you still have the floor.
Thank you, Chair. That's all I have. Thank you. I yield.
Okay, thank you so much. Any other members? Okay, so just staying on the recommendation made by Senator Magofnia, referring to item 15 or line 15 on page 3. If an amount cannot be agreed upon within 30 days of this act's effective date, the disputed amount shall be settled by averaging the respective totals reported by CHCC and CUC as of April 25th, 2025. Now, there has to be some sort of a, and I'm afraid that that if we remain, if we elect to have this provision, then it's gonna allow us to request some financial information from CUC and CHCC for that matter. I request that we reconsider that provision in itself and just allow provision to say that the agreement has to be met. Okay, let me ask for a short recess, please. back into our meeting, and before we take a break, we were discussing and we approved the amendment offered by Senator Corina Magofne, and there being no further discussion on the bill, I now ask the members for their approval for consideration to support or to place this bill on bill calendar for Monday's session, or I stand corrected to I'll recognize Senator Donna Manglonia.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. At this time, I move to adopt House Bill 2429 SD1.
As the proper motion offered by Senator Donna Manglonia to approve House Bill 24-29. Be seconded.
Second.
Discussion?
Ready?
Ready? All those in favor of the motion to approve House Bill 24-29, please say aye.
Aye.
All those opposed, say nay. House Bill number 24-29 is hereby adopted in committee in the form of a Senate Draft 1. Thank you, members. And in the interest of time, I respectfully request that we discuss, and I want to discuss one more item, and then we'll recess, or we'll adjourn this committee meeting. There is a request by, and I think it's in your package. I believe it's in your package to the committee that the president had requested the committee to oversight investigation of CUC's procurement process, and there is a draft letter to move that recommendation or that request forward, but I want to ask your suggestions or comments by the members on how you want to proceed with this particular request by our Senate President. Again, this is as a result from our informational hearing that was conducted back in early this year, and primarily it reflects on the procurement of some generator sets for both Rhoda and Saipan. There are some concerns that were raised by the general public in regards to this particular item. So I want to ask the members to read through the package if you haven't done so, and I'll be sharing the letter to you to address to the chairman of the board and also to the executive director with regards to that particular inquiry. Any thoughts? Okay, there being none. Announcements? None. Adjournment. Any member recognized to offer a motion to adjourn this committee meeting?
Chair,
Recognize
motion
Senator
to-
Calvo.
Thank you, Chair. Motion to adjourn.
The motion offered by Senator Calvo to adjourn this committee meeting, and it's been seconded by Senator Cruz. All those in favor, please say aye. All those opposed, say nay. Motion carries. Thank you, members, again for your participation today. Thank you, Chair Corina, for joining us, even though you're in virtually. Thank you. Appreciate it.
This is Marcia, Chair.